conversations, and even as we build up to more football. And yes, the Sekafa Women's Championship, that's going to be taking place this weekend, things we're going to build up on. But straight into what we have got lined up for you today, we've got to start with the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2026. Cameroon crowned champions last night. 3-0 winners over Malawi, who were making their debut. I mean, for many people, in their hearts, they really wanted Malawi. But those who had other conversations, and they said, well, Cameroon are the team to beat. And to speak about that, I've got Barry Silla with me. Barry, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Yes, Barry. Let's start, with the whole, with the women's, with the story of the WAFCON final.
Yes.
Your take on Cameroon's performance, because they just said bang, 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 early within the first half, take control of the game, take some gas out of Malawi.
Yeah, first of all, let me take this opportunity to congratulate Cameroon. Fourth time of asking, and finally they get their much-awaited silverware. And what a performance by the indomitable Lionesses. In 5 matches, they conceded only twice, and they scored 8 goals. So if it was a table ranking, there would be +6 on goal difference. Certainly, what a way to close the tournament. And I'd surprise you, the odds for Cameroon in the start of this tournament was only 5.9%, and Malawi was 0.28%. I'll just talk about them later. It tells you this was a tournament of surprises. The big guys were all out. Nigeria, 10-time winners, Nigeria were out. South Africa, Morocco. But for Cameroon to go about the business the way they did, just shows you 3 things. They have a quality side, they have an experienced side, and certainly they're also good fighters. So for me, the way Malawi were dispatched was quite surprising. I thought Malawi had a fight. But for the likes of Maringa to do a brace, certainly again with the Malawians, defensively they were not well structured, and that's how they were punished. And so I think Cameroon showed why they were hungry to get the first title after 3 heartbreaks.
Well, yes, 2004, 2014, and 2016, Cameroon were in the final and losing to one country in all editions, and that is Nigeria. Yeah. Let's bring up this story about their defensive performance. I mean, for Malawi's goalkeeper, she looked, out of place a couple of times.
Yeah.
And so Cameroon really did take care of that, with Maringa Manga scoring 2 goals to push them there. Absolutely.
Marie, like you just mentioned, the defense really struggled to cope with the pace of the Cameroonian attackers. And the coaches really didn't have heat to deal with their opponents. So I'd say the tactical approach by Cameroon to pin the Malawians at their own half and forcing them to make errors they pretty much capitalized on the errors of the defense led by their keeper. And so for me, once they did the business in the first half, I thought second half was all about really game management. And you remember in this game, I think 2 goals were cancelled because of offside. So
yes,
it was all about Cameroon, and they diffused and neutralized Malawi's threats, especially the Chawinga sisters.
Well, and when you try to take a look, the whole story of Malawi, it's a very young team.
Yeah.
Having had the Malawi FA president say that they had focused on, blooding their young players, and then have the team, operate around the Chawinga sisters, Rose Kadzere and Faith Chinzimu.
Yes.
How do you see their growth? Because one thing is, for a team that had a 99.98% of not making it past the group stage, they have told a different story.
First of all, this finalists, like you just mentioned, against all odds, Malawi reached the finals. And remember what happened with Cameroon.
I think that's a literal phrase in this case.
Yeah, they didn't even make it to the 12 who qualified. And CAF did a controversial expansion to add 4 teams, yeah, including Ivory Coast and Cameroon in there. So this is quite a story. This final is quite a story. But speaking of Malawi, a young team ranked 153rd, rank outsiders completely. To go all the way to this tournament, even beyond the Chawinga sisters you've mentioned, Chinzinga and Kazere. I thought this team is if you ask me, a team that was overlooked, but they proved all the doubters wrong by just the way they went about their business. And so for me, Malawi FA has a lot of promise, especially in the women football, based on what we have seen here. And they certainly have good things to take home in terms of where to improve.
Well, let's talk about the odds you presented. Cameroon.
Yeah.
5.9%
margin. I think it's because Cameroon, number one, they didn't qualify officially for this tournament, and number two,
I think they had been eliminated by Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes, in the qualifiers.
In the qualifiers.
Yeah, so they had a rough qualifying run. But they have, as we have mentioned, they have 3 times been unlucky not to win. And I understand why they gave Nigeria the highest odds, because of 10-time winners and defending champions, also South Africa and Morocco.
Also the fact that they're Africa's highest ranked team.
Absolutely. And in the world, I think they're 36th. Yes, so, but Cameroon ranked is number 66. And of course, when the next rankings will come, they'll go high up. Anyway, for me, the odds given to them by bookies, 5.9%, also seemed a bit little, considering they are a powerhouse. They've just been unlucky. But now, the way we've been speaking about in past instances, sometimes I think rankings make no sense at all. And if you look at the story of Malawi especially, it will tell you football has really changed in Africa. Yes.
0.02 for Malawi. Basically, they had no chance.
No chance, pretty much no chance. Yeah, you'd agree with the books that they were complete rank outsiders, but from match day one, they just proved that they are a team to. In fact, the match they performed poorly was actually the finals. From match day one, you see what they did against the big girls of this competition. But they've gone steady by steady, improving. And of course, also the bookies would be surprised with just how the tournament has run, based on the odds they gave. Yeah.
Well, and let me just ask my director, Hemston. Let's get the reactions of the people in charge of these two teams after the final. From Malawi, it's their captain Tabitha Chawinga and coach Lovemore Fazili. Let's get to hear what those two had to say.
It's good. Oh, it's fantastic. It doesn't matter we lost, but the game was good. First of all, I thank God for everything what has happened today. Secondly, congratulations to Cameroon. They deserve it to win. Malawi was the first time to be in the tournament. I said it yesterday, and every time I like to say this is miracle Scotias. Even the journalists, you guys, you didn't give us a chance. You give us a 2% to be in the final, but God supplies everyone. So the game in night was amazing. It was good. Cameroon, they deserve it. Yeah, I believe my sister. She's my superstar. She's one of the best players in the world. It will not only the Golden Boot. I believe you win best player in Africa as well. And in maybe, inshallah, Ballon d'Or as well. She's a superstar. As you can see the talent she have, hard work, how she did. Absolutely. I give her my respect. We learn a lot of things in this tournament. We learn a lot of things, and we need to go back home to sit down to think about the next stage for World Cup and for qualify for Olympic. We need to polish ourselves and to be better. I know everyone home, they are ready to welcome us. It doesn't matter we finish in the second position, but everyone, is happy for us. They are happy for us.
Yeah, normally in football we expect those things to happen. You plan this and maybe come out opposite. So yes, they came and maybe scored 3 goals. And in the second half, I think they did not score any goal. But all in all, I think I'm not very sad because this is football. And considering where you're coming from, I think reaching this point, I think I'm happy with the performance. We have lost, it's gone, and we have reached the final. So this is another token to us. We are not stopping here. Whatever we have managed to achieve, we're going to continue with our preparations. We have World Cup ahead of us. We also have Olympic Games ahead of us. So we're going to continue with our preparations, our trainings, and I'm sure when we go to World Cup, I think we'll be the different team because we have, gained a huge experience through these matches. So I'm sure we are moving forward. Thank you.
It's huge. It's our first star, and again, it's a huge achievement to be called the champions of Africa, first and foremost. But we're grateful. We're super grateful. We came in with the belief, and we continue with that. So more than anything, we just want to enjoy the moment and continue building upon this. Everything that comes from our backbone, it's from Cameroon, it's from the country. So to the fans back home, our family, our friends, federation, everything that is Cameroonian, we're super grateful. I mean, the support is more than everything. So we take this as a win for everybody, not just the team as a whole. It's everybody completely. So we're super grateful. No, well, it's amazing to be able to win this first star, like I said, and for us to win it, not for just ourselves, not for just the country, but for our presidency, for our federation, it's something grand. And to be able to appreciate this moment for women's football in Cameroon it's a big step forward. So super grateful. Nothing, we just believe, we kept believing. I mean, this was a journey. It was a long road ahead. I mean, there was many doubts, there was many obstacles that were in the way, but above all, we overcame them together. And I think that was what made the difference between each game.
I can say I was just focused because it was an important game, final. So I know if I was not focused, maybe something can happen in favor of Malawi because they did a good game today too. They deserve to. And I was focused. Like I say, I like big games because big games, during the big game, I'm more focused. Yeah.
And that is Cameroon goalkeeper Mikaeli Bihina. Before that was Rose Bella. Remember, most Cameroonians, they're bilingual. They speak English, they speak French. And from the Malawi side, Love Mo Fazila and Tabitha Chawinga. Let's first take a look, at, from the words of Tabitha Chawinga and the lessons that they've got to learn. Because there's a lot, that's looking that they've got ahead, the World Cup, the Olympics.
Yes.
They've got 2 international windows where they can make as much lemonade as they can in November, December, and also in February.
Yes.
Because their achievements will get them invitations to bigger events.
Absolutely. I agree with Tabi there because, first of all, they were given almost no chance, but they're now been lifted by this performance. And like you rightly said, this kind of performance will endear them to many competitions, many invitations. And of course, their rankings will go up. I'd like to see more of their performances, especially in the African continent. I believe in COSAFA events. But more importantly, like the coach has said, there's preparations for Olympic LA, and there's also preparations for the World Cup. So they have quite a busy schedule ahead in the next 2 years, between now and the Olympics, and also between now and I think June next year when the World Cup is in Brazil, to try and polish up a few things. But overall, there's been quite a big lesson for them.
Let's see now. How then would you like to, sustaining this momentum that they've built?
Yes.
they've lit a fire, and this is one that you really want to see keep burning.
For me, maintain the core of the team. I think especially the main guys. You don't want to see them fall off or go astray or go away. And number two, try to invest more in the youth football. I'd like to see what they're doing in the juniors, under 17, under 20. If they can polish on that, invest more on that, I believe we will see a lot more of Malawi as opposed to a lot more of the traditional bigwig Zambia and South Africa. We want to see more from down south. And what Malawi has done certainly is going to endear the federation down there, Malawi Football Federation, to invest more on women football and to see that they can grow and be more visible.
Well, you can see the pictures from the presentation ceremony last night. That is Mikaeli Bihina of Cameroon. She won the Golden Glove Award.
Yes.
And wow.
Yeah, best keeper. Yeah, top performance from the Benfica goalkeeper. She's only 22. She conceded only twice. And you believe it or not, in the 5 matches she did, she saved, and she had 19 saves, including I think 4 penalties on post-match and etc. But it tells you that Cameroon as a goalkeeper for the future, and especially for a keeper. Keepers usually mature when they're older. She's so young. I think she's got quite over at least 10 years to get better. And this lady, a lot of analysts are saying she's the one who pushed Cameroon all the way to where they are now. And certainly Mikaeli is one to be watched. And I'm sure the European giants will be fighting for her signature in the next window. Yep.
Well, what a big story that, we've got to tell.
Yeah.
Individual players also.
Yep.
Look at this. So a player.
Yeah.
Ngok.
Yes.
She was the engine of the Cameroonian side.
Yes.
People will look at Inga and you can see that she's got something flamboyant about her. Put on the sunglasses.
Yes.
Deep in the night.
Yeah.
They call it the celeb mode.
Yeah.
But how critical did you see her being?
Monique Ngok, for me, engine of the team, quite very important. There are certain players when they miss out. And I saw the missing of Tizere yesterday was a big miss for Malawi. But Ngok stood out for me because of how she was organizing and her abilities on and off the ball. And I think for me, she certainly deserved that award from CAF. Pushed, we might be looking at the likes of Maringa and even the keeper, Mikaeli Bihina. But Monique Ngok, for me, is, I don't know if we can call them the silent players, but they make quite an impact in a game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, so you've had it, and looking at it, Cameroon, how much more? Because there seems, there's conversations from Malawi and from Chawinga and Fazila, and you listen to Bella and Bihina. There's a joint conversation, World Cup and the Olympics.
Yes. So for Cameroon, same story. World Cup, they have to make an impact. They've been there twice. I think once they've been, I think it's 2014 they were in the quarters. They need to go there and make impact and not just add numbers. I remember now the top 4, Cameroon, Malawi, Algeria, Morocco, are going straight to the World Cup. And then the other 2, Ghana and South Africa, will be going to the Intercontinental tie, I think in November. So for the 4, speaking about Cameroon, the winners, they have to go and make bigger impact. We want to see African teams led by the champion now to make bigger impact in the global stage in Brazil. And I hope, just like I've mentioned for Malawi, they are going to, and it's a good thing they have Fecafoot as a president that played football and he understands the game. He might be a bit pushy, but he knows, Samuel Eto'o knows what is expected. And so I think for me, what Fecafoot, the master stroke Fecafoot did was to change the coaches. When they brought this coach, this lady actually has been in the background of the team.
Valentin Gele.
Yeah, Valentin Gele. 16 years, nobody really, she was doing things at the back end. But now she was brought and see what she's done. Excellent stuff. And I'm sure now it's motivation for the Fecafoot to put more investment on the team so that we see what they can do going forward, especially in the World Cup.
Well, so those are the top 2 teams. Cameroon, first-time winners in that, and on debut, Malawi making it to the final. The other two teams that qualified automatically for the
Yes.
FIFA Women's World Cup,
Yeah.
Morocco and Algeria.
Yeah.
But the story of Algeria is another one, under Farid Ben Stiti.
Yes.
And they also won the Fair Play Award.
Yes. So, number one, you know, these are rivals. We won't get into the politics, but they avenged the group stage loss through the 3-2 post-match penalties to get the bronze medal. So congratulations to Ben Stiti's team. But yeah, what a team, what an effort, what a push by the Algerians in this tournament. I wouldn't have imagined these guys going, you know, going all the way to the podium, let alone beating their traditional rivals and host Morocco. So quite a good performance by the Algerians. And I'd like also to see what they can be able to do in the World Cup. I believe it's going to be like their second time, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, generally, an overview of what Algeria has done in this tournament, it's quite magical. And I think it's one of those teams we'll want to see going forward, you know, what they can achieve. And, you know, traditionally, we usually speak, Wahome, of players. We need to keep the core team. But I think also teams also need to be patient. If we can keep the coaching staff, because I heard somewhere there are now rumors how Morocco has failed. They're saying Wilda, we brought them from Spain, the world champions, and they couldn't do much. So there's having a Moroccan media. But I hope these teams maintain their coaching staff, because now the coaches will understand a long-term. They have a long-term play of where they want to see that with Ben Stiti and Algeria.
Morocco, I mean, everyone was looking at them.
Yeah.
Hire a World Cup winning coach.
Yes.
Jorge Vilda Rodriguez.
Yes.
And so much expectation, having lost the previous two finals, 2022 and 2024,
Yep.
all at home.
Yes.
And now,
Yeah.
here, don't make it to the finals and finish fourth.
I think if you, objectively speaking and from a neutral perspective, I think Morocco, in my view, has not been up to par and has not met expectations. This is the only country in Africa who has hosted back-to-back AFCONs, 2022, 24, 26, and they've lost to Nigeria, South Africa, and Cameroon. And so I think there are questions have to be asked. Jorge Vilda, you did well with Spain in the world stage. How come? What happened here? To finish fourth, I think is not quite convincing for the Morocco FA. They'll have to go back to and do a post-mortem. They'll have to sit with the coaches and the technical bench and see what went wrong. But if you ask me, they started with the bang, especially in the group stages. But something didn't quite click in the knockout stages. And this has been the story even with the big teams, Nigeria, South Africa, even Morocco. Something just didn't click. And so Jorge Vilda has a lot of explaining to do. Hopefully his job will be retained, but I think the Morocco FA are going to sit and want answers. Yep.
Well, I know those will be asked, a lot will be asked. I mean, the questions will be asked, and there is so much, you know, that's going to go through. Two teams also making it through to the brutal intercontinental playoff.
Yes.
Let's start with Ghana.
Yes.
Playing against their arch rivals, Ivory Coast.
Yes, traditional rivals and neighbors. Yeah, but I'd probably say Ivory Coast have been pretty unlucky in this tournament. Not that they played badly, but yes, congrats to Ghana. They are now going to the intercontinental stage to see if they can get a return to the World Cup, and which is more complex. You know, you play like 3 games, very tight against other regions. But let's see how it goes for Ghana. If you ask me, they have a little more experience as compared to South Africa, who also made it through in that stage. But we hope they get a favorable draw. That's number one. Who they play next, I think when the draw will be out sometime later in the year. But what a performance by Ghana. By all accounts, I don't think they would be like top 4 in people who would have been expected to win or go all the way. But just to make it through to the intercontinental stage, I think it's good enough. So it's all about planning for, you know, the next couple of matches to ensure that they go all the way through and be in the World Cup.
Well, I've got. I mean, looking at that pathway.
Yes.
It's one of. I mean, it's people may look at it as the November-December phase 1.
Yeah.
But then there is a second phase.
Yes.
In February.
Yep.
Where you now bring in the teams from Europe.
Yeah.
Because we've got the two from Africa. So Oceania is getting us one, Asia is getting one, and
Europe.
CONCACAF
One. Then Europe too.
And no,
Europe.
one. I think,
Oh,
no,
Europe.
South America one.
Okay, yes.
So that's how it is at the moment.
Yeah.
Then phase 2. How much work needs to be done? Because I mean the windows are
very tight
at the moment.
Yeah, you know, Wahome, I think it's better to qualify direct, the top 4. But the intercontinental route is pretty tough and tight. First of all, you don't know the draw, how it will come. And number 2, the traveling is quite heavy. And then number 3, the short period of regaining and of practice and preparing and recovery. And remember, these players, most of them will have to be interfering with the schedule of their leagues. So I think it's quite tight.
Actually, I mean, I wouldn't say it's I mean, those are the women's windows.
Oh, those are the women's?
Yes.
Okay. So the
men's windows are a bit different.
Yeah.
But for the FIFA windows for women's football, those are the dates. November, December, last week of November, first week of December and in February.
Yeah. So with that being clarified, I think that route still, for me, looks very tricky. You're meeting somebody from South America, somebody from Europe, somebody from CONCACAF. You don't know, you have to prepare for yourself. It's all about thinking about yourself, but you also have to think about the opponent at the other side. Before you make it through to the 3 rounds, it's all mental as well. Yep.
Well, let's talk about South Africa also making it through. One of the 4 teams that was tipped
to win.
To be right at the top, but they started on the wrong foot and lost to Tanzania.
Yes. Yeah, South Africa under Dr. Desire Lizo had quite an eventful tournament by all accounts. But for me, I think it was a relief for SAFA that the team made it for the intercons, where they can now take time to plan. Especially beating the traditional rivals, Nigeria. But for all intents and purposes, I think if you ask me, South Africa, I'm not getting a clear pathway to just go and be top 4. For me, is disappointing. But now they have this second opportunity to go all the way and try to make amends. And like I said, with the same story with Ghana, it's a difficult pathway to go round 1, 2, 3. So that you get to the finals, to the World Cup. But we from this end, we need 6 teams from Africa representing us. So, but all the best to them. I certainly think South Africa are now more driven. The fact that they have gotten to 1 foot on the gas, on the door, rather, I think we will get to see more improvement from this Banyana side.
The disappointment of the competition, the Super Falcons. Don't mention the drawing board. The Nigerians have said that the first thing that should be thrown away is that drawing board. So they're not going back to a drawing board.
Yeah, NFF has quite its pressure on them. Remember, this is the first time the men missed the World Cup, the women missed the under-17 and under-20. It has never happened in Nigeria's history. And in Nigeria's history,
I think they've done a count of 6 competitions.
Yes.
Where they have failed to make it through.
This is the first time, actually. So it's by all accounts, they have failed. And number 2, this is the first time the Super Falcons, 10-time WAFCON winners, are failing to go to the World Cup, like in a straight channel. So NFF has quite some task. The coaches have quite some task. And this team has some players who are already fading off aging. Like the Oshuala, the time is about ending. Now, so it's like, if you ask me, I think Nigeria needs a bit of a rebuild, a new fresh blood, even in the technical bench. So there's quite a bit of work to do, even ahead of the next WAFCON. But now they just have to go back to the drawing board and get things right again.
No, but absolutely, there is no drawing board. The people have said the first thing that needs to be done away with is the drawing board.
But what can you do if...
Because I mean, look, the conversations there, and and so they missed the under-17s, the under-20s. They missed the Men's World Cup. They missed on the Women's World Cup.
Yes.
how many tournaments? Chan was a total disaster for them.
Yes, I remember.
So when they do the count of the 6 or so, competitions that they are not in, there's something
badly wrong.
There's something wrong.
Yes.
I mean, think of it. I think only 2 teams in the Nigerian league are not run by state governments.
I think that's where the problem begins now.
Only 2.
Yeah.
I mean, the NFF is
a mess.
I mean, Grand Mess Federation.
Now, I think the problem starts from the head. So if we can probably start by, and I've never known if the solution is just a total wipeout, people resigning. Maybe there's a structural problem in there that is beyond the leadership. And it needs to be fixed. You cut the head of the snake and then everything will be good. NFF needs to get its act in order.
Well, this looks more like a lizard. You cut the tail, it grows again.
Yeah, but it needs to get its act in order. I think it's a disaster. Nigeria is an African giant. If they're failing to go to 4 World Cups from all the teams, including the juniors, and they're failing for the continental local teams for Chan, then it tells you there's a big problem. And if you've noticed, Wahome, the Nigerian league is not as strong as its neighbors, let's say Cameroon and Senegal. And like you mentioned, maybe one of the problems is that its government owns.
I mean, it's not even about governments running them.
Yeah.
The fact is, if it's the state governments that have got to come in and support clubs,
it's a problem.
There's a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem if the states are coming in. It means I don't know if the corporates are not seeing value, or maybe also the young players are also not seeing value in that league. They run away at young ages to the foreign leagues. So it has to be all about restructuring of Nigerian football at this point.
Well, it's going to be a very, very big story that's going to be told. And for Nigeria, I mean, a big, big disappointment. Lessons for Kenya.
Thank you. Lessons for Kenya, I think, is, and I think Coach has also spoken, Coach Beldin Odemba has spoken to this, early preparations has to be there. The girls have to get, I think, we did, the FKF, to their credit, did fairly well. I think we did around 7 build-up matches, including 2 series in Zambia and here. But quality preparations, timely preparations. And number 2, I think selections has to be devoid from politics. We have to get the right people, right players going, getting a chance to go to represent us in the World Cup. In the WAFCON. This is our 2nd time after 10 years, after David Ouma's reign. So we have to give credit where it's due. The Federation and Beldin Odemba did their best. But when it comes to a competition of this magnitude, Wahome would agree we need our very best at that stage. And so certainly there are lessons that have to be picked. They'll be harsh. And I had the FKF boss, Hussein Mohamed, say there'll be reviews. Some people say maybe the Beldin's time is done. But in my view, if you ask me, we need another eye on the bench, which is probably a technical director, probably from a foreign land, to help with technical bits of the game.
Why a foreigner? Are we not good enough?
Because
at the moment, there is somebody who's in charge of that.
Yes.
FKF has
Kimanzi.
a technical. Yes,
Mr.
it
Kimanzi.
has a technical director.
Okay, how about this, a traveling technical director who will help with the analyzing performances and travel with the team even for, because Mr. Kimanzi stays in Kandanda House. But what about a technical director? A long time ago, we used to have a German guy in the team. But I'm just saying, if we had...
okay, if you're trying to use the model of Bernard Zoll, he came in as technical director, but he had eyes across the country.
Yeah,
Mohamed Heri, the late Chris Makoha, the late Nyongesa. Who else? I mean, there were 8 people in charge, basically, of each province.
Yes.
So there's... I mean, I don't expect Francis Kimanzi to be omnipresent across the country, but where's our way?
It's true, the Federation has invested a lot in our coaches, even including trainings, but I still feel like something is missing. Even if you see what happened with the national team, Harambee Stars, they brought in an entire foreign cast, but with support from Kenyans. I wish we had like 1 or 2 giving us a bit of exposure. Maybe perhaps Beldin needs a bit of someone giving a bit of exposure and tactical training on that end. That will be a change for the national team.
Well, and I can tell you the fact that she was right on the bench, her papers are right. The question is, do we have that right mindset? Well, and talking about women's football, 3 days from now,
Yes.
Kigali, Rwanda.
Yes.
The Sekafa women's...
Not draw, the tournament begins.
Yes.
Yeah, which is the qualifiers for the Champions League.
Yeah, for the Women's Champions League.
Yes.
Kenya Police Bullets.
Yes.
They'll be playing against Simba Queens and Top Girls Academy of Burundi. That's Group C.
Yes.
And it's quite a tournament because only the group winners will qualify.
Yeah.
It's only in Group A where there are 4 teams that, the first and second will qualify. But Group B, which has got CBE of Ethiopia, that's the Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, Kawempe Muslim of Uganda, FC Ujeko of looking at it, FC Ujeko of Burundi, rather of Djibouti will be playing in that. Group A has got Tryon Sport of Rwanda, Yei Joint Stars of South Sudan, Mafunzo of Zanzibar, and Denden FC of Eritrea.
So yeah, I saw the draw, very interesting draw, and like you mentioned, it's only Group A where we'll have 2 teams qualify. The Sekafa region, as it were, its football improving quite much, and this I can attribute to a lot of investment more in the regional leagues, and I'm glad Sekafa took this route of the qualifications in association with CAF. I think Kenya Police has a chance to emulate what Vihiga Queens did 5 years ago. 2021, Vihiga Queens went all the way and won it. Last year in Kenya here we hosted JKT Queens of Zanzibar won it. But it's quite an interesting tie. It's all about how David Vijago and his charges will approach from match day 1. But it's fairly a doable group. We just need to hold our own and Police Queens, if we can, and just win convincingly even one opening 2 games, and then we'll be through. And I think based on the business I've seen by Police, they've signed very, very well.
All right. So, yeah. Overall, who looks like they could be going through here? Is it Rayon Sport? Is it Simba Queens? Is it Police Bullets? Is it Kawempe Muslim or CBE?
Yeah, there are like 4 teams to qualify. I'd give the host Rayo a chance. I'd give the defending champions JKT Queens a chance. I'd give our own Police Bullets a chance. And I'd probably throw in CBE. The problem, I've never seen impact really from
CBE.
No, Ugandan football.
Or Kawempe Muslim.
Yeah, Uganda, Eritrea, Ethiopia. So I'll give it to the rest just in that order I mentioned.
All right. Well, women's football continues from the 20th of this week. Thank you very much, Barry, for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Well, let's shift gears now and talk about the bid for the 2029 World Athletics Championships. Kenya, on Thursday, presented their bid. It has the full backing of His Excellency the President and also of the Government of Kenya. And joining us live via Zoom from Eldoret is Athletics Kenya Executive Committee member Barnaba Korir. A very good morning to you. Well, it's a pleasure to speak to you. And as Kenya, this is a second time that Kenya is making a bid for the World Athletics Senior Championships. And this bid follows one that had been made for 2025. First, let's take a look at lessons learned from the decision to give 2025 to Tokyo and not to Nairobi. That decision was made in Eugene, Oregon. Well, so let's now take a look at this and directly look at the exact, clear parameters that need to be put together, from the lessons of the 2025 bid, so that Kenya is now ready to compete against London, amongst other cities, for the 2029 Games.
Yes, as I said before, this is the second time Kenya is bidding for the World Championship. We tried the first time for 2025. We were not successful. Now we are doing it the second time. The first time, there were areas that were not did not meet the standards for World Athletics. Those areas we have already, as a country, met those conditions, and now this is the second time. And the bid was done last week, and it went very well. We have other countries that are competing with us, that namely United Kingdom. We have Italy and also Germany. If you look at the possibilities, we have a very high possibility because this is the first time in Africa if we are given. And of course, if you look at the European, they have had many chances. And I think the possibilities are very, very high for Kenya. One, because we have the best athletes in the world. We have a very good infrastructure that has already been done. And if you look at the stadiums that have been constructed, the venues, the infrastructure is world standards. And of course, being the first time in Africa gives us an opportunity, an advantage over the others. The only thing that is remaining now is for us to continue selling that idea. More so, the president of Kenya, His Excellency Dr. Samoei Ruto, gave the assurance that the government of Kenya and the country at large is going to support financially, morally, and all that is necessary to have this event successful.
Well, let's talk about some of the experience, the way things are evolving for us to host this event. If you take a look at the World Athletics Championships, you're trying to think of a Diamond League meeting times 9. So let's get into, let's take a look at, because Kenya, by hosting the Keep Keno Classic, World Athletics Continental Tour Gold category meeting, standards keep going higher and the learning lessons that we have picked over the years.
Thank you. Yes, if you look at the events that we have already had, this is not the first time Kenya is hosting a major event. We have had the World's Cross Country that was done in Mombasa. We have had 2 major international events, track and field, for World Under 18 in 2017. We have had also World Under 20 in 2021. All of them were very successful, and we have had also international events like Keno Classic, World Cross Country Series, and all of them has been extremely successful. We have a technical team that has already been trained by World Athletics. We have the population of this country who love the sport, they love athletics. And as the president of World Athletics said, that athletics is almost a religion in Kenya. So we have everything going for us, especially the financial, when the government has agreed to sponsor it. I think this is the right time for us to host it. And I want to believe that because of the performance of Kenyan athletes, both in track and on the road, it is only fair that we be considered as the first African country to host the event, largely because we have the best athletes the world has known.
Well, one of the things, for all of that comes, with hosting these events, number one, let's see about how World Athletics makes the demands for implements. Think about the hurdles, think about the shot put, the hammer, the javelin, the arrangements around putting that equipment there, because there's a standard to it.
Yes, when it comes now to the field events, Kenya has not done so well like in track and field, but as a result of the success in both middle and long distance, recently at least Kenya has focused on the events like the sprints, and of course we have enough time to prepare also our athletes for the field events like the short put, long jump, triple jump, or we call it horizontal and vertical events. Those are the things that we are looking into now. Initially, there's a disadvantage that we had in Kenya was the infrastructure, the stadiums, the implements that these athletes are using, the coaching staff that need to be trained, the sprinters. We have had also contacts with countries like Jamaica for the sprints. We have a relationship with them. We have also countries like France in the sprints. We are working very closely with the Americans now so that we ensure that we have a formidable team when it comes to the championship. And I think if you look at the performance and the kind of growth of athletics in the country, there's a lot of dynamism, both locally and nationally. And we want to continue with the same efforts in ensuring that we professionalize sports, especially athletics, in ensuring that our athletes, as they train, are ready to compete, have an opportunity both in Kenya and outside the country. And the only way we can do that is to have the infrastructure. That's the construction of the stadiums, availability of implements for the athletes to use, and ensuring that athletes are focused when they know that they're going to have World Championship in a few years. I'm sure that the people of Kenya will invest and support our athletes as they prepare for an event that is going to be really big for our country.
Well, one of the things that we're seeing is all athletics. We know they've got a single, one track supplier is making sure that you've got the main track on the field, Kasarani, and what is referred to as a warm-up track. Plans to get that surface ready, and looking at it, we'll be looking at it probably as towards AFCON or before the tournament, and how to make sure that that track has got the required lifespan.
Honestly, to make sure that the tracks, especially Nyayo and Kasarani, is done well. There's already communication and also working very closely with other Mondo to make sure that those infrastructure is done correctly, is also supported by one athlete. Recently, the person in charge of Sports Kenya, that is DG, Director General of Sports Kenya, has worked very closely, coordinating at the Kasarani being prepared for and immediately after that, then they're going to lay the new tartan before 2029. So everything is in place. And see, the athlete, the crowd will be used also by actually will be done by one athlete. Of course, the Mondo team will install the tartan track that will be used. The warm-up track in Kasarani, the main track in Kasarani, will be upgraded to the standards that is required. When from one time check, they did problem with them. Yes, that has to be improved, especially like the media center and a few areas that were required implementation. And then when it came now to the issue of the marathon, because this is going the last time the marathon, last one here in Nairobi. So we have already have the route by Ibrahim Hussein. So everything will be ready for the event if given.
Well, very interesting here, because I was coming to the out of stadium events, as World Athletics refers to them now. Race walking, I know if an event is at Kasarani, at times one section of the parking lot could be used. Making sure that you get the right places to do these out of stadium events, specifically the race walk and the marathon. Looks like we there is a break in our connection with Barnaba Korir. He is a member of the World Athletics, of the Athletics Kenya Executive Committee, and Kenya has presented a bid to host the 2029 World Athletics Championships. The last time Kenya had put in a bid for the senior for the World Athletics Championships for seniors was for the 2025 games. The 2025 championships went to Tokyo, Kenya. There were a few gaps that were there. They have been addressed in the current bid. And remember, there is Rome, London, Munich, and Nairobi, all bidding to host 2029 and 2031. Let's see if we've got Barnaba Korir back. And the conversation here was about out of stadium events, the race walk and the marathons. I know there was some concerns about that. We have the Nairobi City Marathon that's that's going on. That's one of the aspects. But what is it that World Athletics could be looking for? All right. Yes. So, yes, Kenya putting up that bid. That bid has got the full support of His Excellency the President. He was one of those who made a presentation to World Athletics, and the World Athletics, the council was meeting on Thursday evening. The bids had to be submitted by the 5th of August. That was the official date, and like they would say, defending your bid, that took place on Thursday last week. And the chairman of the bid committee is Ibrahim Hussein Kipkemboi. So he's the one who's leading that bid committee. Ibrahim Hussein Kipkemboi also being one of the certified cause measurers. Kenya previously have hosted the World Cross Country Championships in Mombasa. That was in 2007. After that, the next event that Kenya hosted was the African Senior Athletics Championships, Nairobi 2010. In 2017, Kenya hosted the World Athletics Under-18 Championships. That was the last championships for that age grade. It has now been relegated to where only areas, as World Athletics refers to them, that is the continent, that's how they refer to them, are the ones who are holding the Under-18 Championships. Then Kenya hosted the World Under-20 Athletics Championships. So it's only the senior championship that hasn't been hosted by Kenya. What's in store for that? Hempston, you could confirm if we've got Barnaba Korir back. All right. So, yeah, we'll be getting back to Barnaba Korir. So we take a short break now. We'll be back with more conversations in the world of sport.
Watoto wa siku hizi wakiwa nasumbua. Usikose kuona Gundu KBC Channel 1 every Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. Ujionee hivi vituko vya watoto wa siku hizi wanaosumbua wazazi na mengine mengi. Keep it Gundu. Gina! Wananiita Gundu wakita wengine wata.
Ndio soda yako?
Ni rice cubes.
Ungependa ikue pariti ama moto?
Nini bana wewe?
Ukiniangalia niko na panga
kwa kichwa.
Nimemalizia hapo.
Haya.
Ndio nataka na nifikie hapo ya boss. Okay.
We, unaenda wapi sasa mkaka?
Nataka nisikie kutoka kwa punda mwenyewe.
Ndio ndege inakuja saa 6 usiku.
Isije ikawa ni kesho.
Sasa wewe ndio unajua nimesikia vibaya, si ndio?
Niende na gari.
Ulikuwa unataka uende na kichwa. Wewe rudi hapa.
Ni yeye alituambia.
Wewe kwenda. Mwaka nani alikuambia hii maneno?
Are you ready for the next big thing in tech? Well, we'll spotlight Kenya's brightest young minds, game-changing startups, and breakthrough technology that are shaping our future. From AI and robotics to sustainable futures, we bring you the stories behind the scenes. KBC Channel 1. Remember, tech starts here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kenya.
Wake up with Good Morning Kenya, the morning show that's got it all.
We dive deep into issues shaping our country.
Youth are a voice of a nation.
What is the next step for the young people?
Unpacking political landscape from Monday to Wednesday.
We discuss family matters.
It is very important to guard your relationship.
And for your health.
Someone doesn't wake up and they become an addict. It's in stages.
We've got you covered each and every Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Every Wednesday, it's all about The Viewpoint.
A day in politics is like 1,000 years.
Unpacking the biggest stories of the week, getting you insights and getting you ready for your day.
And the package is not yet done. I get to fix your Thursday with some entertainment. Entertainment Thursday, it is.
Good morning, Kenya.
We shape your day.
Good Morning Kenya, every weekday morning on KBC Channel 1.
We are the Davons, and then one of the service, and we sat next to each other.
Notice venye mulikanisha?
No. We wacha. Anasemanga I ghosted him for like 3 months or so.
This time I find a wife. I'm not letting her.
For me, also he wasn't among the people I would date typically.
We planned the first engagement, it fails.
Like he's very romantic. The first time they came in kwa introduction, walikasirikiana. Our wedding was so beautiful. My dress.
So haujai kuwa na challenge yake akiweka masocks sijui wapi?
Never.
Nikianza kukuja nguo lazima atu.
We're expectant this year.
Well, and welcome back to Sports Check. Yes, on this Monday morning, the 17th day of August, 2026. Well, my name is Daniel Wahome, and well, trying to get back to Barnaba Korir, and we were talking about, Kenya's bid to host the World Athletics Championship in the year 2029. This bid, the present, it was delivered to World Athletics on the 5th of August, which was the deadline for it. But the main work where every country that's bidding to host, or rather the cities specifically, because they deal with cities, that is the other cities being London, Rome, and Munich, all were making their bids known to the World Athletics Council that was led by World Athletics President Sebastian Coe on Thursday last week. And the personal guarantee from President Dr. William Samoei Ruto was part of what Kenya's bid was about. So let's just historically look at it. Kenya hosted the 4th All-Africa Games, 1987. That was the one big competition that Kenya had hosted, bringing a multi-sport event that involved people from all over the world. And after that, the military games were hosted here, the Africa Military Games in 2002. After that, Kenya hosted the World Cross Country Championships in Mombasa in 2007. That was the first World Athletics event that Kenya hosted at that global level. 2010, Kenya hosted the Africa Senior Athletics Championships, and that was in Nairobi, 2010 it was, coming in, that was in August of 2010. In June of 2017, Kenya hosted the World Athletics, the Under-18 Championships. That was the last edition of those championships. They're now hosted across the continents, the areas, as World Athletics uses in its lingo. Then this was followed by the World Under-20 Athletics Championships. Kenya did host that also right here in Nairobi. In 2022, Kenya presented a bid to host the World Championships for 2025, but Tokyo beat them to the bid. Tokyo was technically ready to host. There was a lot of work that Kenya was required to do, and in the view of World Athletics, that was not something that would have been done in a span of 3 years. But back, they came home, looked at everything that needed to be done, and here we are looking at hosting 2029. And the competition is coming from London, Rome, and Munich. So there it is, you can see that Kenya is already there. So, well, that's the story. 2029 and 2031, those host cities, they will be simultaneously announced in Hungary, Budapest, and that is after the inaugural Ultimate Championships that stand out there. Besides, the committee, the bid committee chairman is Ibrahim Hussein, an accomplished athlete himself. He's the first African to win both the New York City and Boston marathons, and right now he's serving in different capacities at World Athletics level. So it's going to be a big moment for that. Well, hopefully we do get Barnaba Korir back, but in the meantime, let's get the story of legend cricketer Joseph Angara, and also within this hour, we'll be talking about fist ball. Fist ball, yes. Think of volleyball played with one hand. Let's get the story of Angara.
Hey, good catch. Good catch. Well done. Thank you. I'm competing against one of the best bowlers in the world, that is Joseph Angara. He has been away for a long time, 8 years. Yep. Yes, in Botswana. And I decided to wait for him for all those years until he came back to the country so that he can tell us what he has been up to and what he was up to back then.
Every time you wake up in the morning and you start visualizing on what you're going to do, you're looking at that Sachin. You're running in, you're bowling to Sachin.
The cool, calm and collected Joseph Angara came into prominence back in 2001 when Kenya was taking part in the Standard Bank triangular tournament between South Africa, who are the hosts, Kenya and India, where he played his heart out to humble the legendary Sachin Tendulkar as Kenya beat India by 70 runs.
Well, that was a 3 series in India, in South Africa, that with South Africa, India and Kenya. So it was in Port Elizabeth that I was man of the match. I got 3 wickets for 30 runs, and my main wicket was Sachin Tendulkar. So we beat India in 2001 in South Africa. I'm still digesting there.
The man of the match, however, had no time to celebrate his greatest achievement as he was bereaved thereafter.
In that tournament, after being man of the match, unfortunately, my mom passed away and had to leave the camp and come back home.
He gathered his courage to feature for Kenya in other series, notably the Sharjah Cup and most memorable the 2003 ICC Cricket World Cup, where Kenya reached a historic semi-final.
It was a long journey, and that journey, as I said again, it started in 2003, that when you find from 18 players, 10 coming to play in that World Cup, that was hard work. We knew each other, we knew our positives and negatives, we cared for each other, and we were playing hard cricket, and cricket was competitive. And also professional cricketers from India used to visit Kenya most of the time. All Ranji Trophy players, national team players. Sandeep Patil came and played there. Chandrakant Pandit came and played there. So we were actually brushing our shoulders with top class cricketers every single season. And also our travels to India and to other countries coming in here really made us to be hard cricketers.
This was Angara's third World Cup, having been a reserve in 1996 when Kenya beat the fancied West Indies by 73 runs in the group stage where they left, same as 1999 in England.
Kenya went to the first World Cup in 96, which I was a reserve. 99, we saw that that experience, you come back and you say, guys, you know what, there's nothing difficult. Let's carry on working hard. We backed each other up. And when we came back, the confidence was high. The confidence, the motivation from cricket, Kenya Cricket Association was very high. We got contracted by Kenya Breweries. So that was the main thing that just boosted us up to carry on. My first World Cup was 1999. Then the second one was 2003. And I was a medium pace bowler. So I was a bowler. And I did my part.
He was a regular for the national team back then, having established himself as a good fielder who picked up the skills at a tender age.
I was born in Park Road. Park Road is just, my door was just opposite Sally Sports Club. So I could we started in as ball boys, going to Sally, sneaking through under the fence, and just acting as ball boys. Then we're getting the balls on the side and just trying. So we tapped our talent from then. Then we started jumping in, and that's how we started playing cricket. Park Road has the Tikolos, the Dumbes, the Sujis, Alfred Boy, the Ngoches. They've all been brought up in Park Road. Not only cricketers, but also footballers. Paulo Nyera came from Park Road. Sami Omolo came from Park Road. So those are all stars who came from Park Road. It's the interest you pick as you carry on. Because of us going to Sali, every day we come from school and go. So we just got interest of cricket. Then now became a good opportunity when we started playing. We were tapped in, and may Premji Koda's soul rest in peace. He paid my school fees from Form 2 to end. I did supplies manage to end of my studies.
It was at Swami Bapa where he built on his skills, surrounded by some of the best players the country has ever had.
I played for Swami Bapa. That was my first club because majority of us were playing there. We used to be picked by a pickup from Park Road, taken to Kilimani, come back. The interest going to Kilimani, every Thursday there was that bajia, so how kids are. So we won enough trophies at Swami Bapa. Swami Bapa is one of the biggest clubs. Very biggest clubs that has won all the trophies, you can name them in the country, and produced majority of the national team players also, from Tom Tikola, Steve Tikola, name them, Maurice Ouma. All those are people who've captained this country. We won all the leagues, the six-a-side games. We used to go to Nakuru as a starting of the six-a-side. We won trophies there. We came NPCA League. It was definitely NPCA League. Yeah, we were playing on all those leagues.
And that's how they found their way to the national team to rise through the ranks.
Club cricket was very, very competitive. Very competitive. So we were picked from there. Squad of 30, you go for trials, then you make your river there. I was also part of top bowlers in the league. So now you picked up from there and you give an opportunity. My first tour to India was 1993 as under 23. So from there, that's when we came. That was the breakthrough for the national team. We performed very well. Yes, we didn't win enough games, but it was a very good experience for us. If you look at the squad that went to India in 1993, 2003, 10 of us were in the squad for the World Cup.
And he learned from the best to become one of the best bowlers in Kenya.
One, I was very fit. I was one of the fittest guys. I was one of the best fielders. And now just to come and mold it with my bowling just made me to stand out. I was very consistent. I enjoyed everything that I did. I kept all my heart there. I was dedicated. That was just pushing me along. The players that we had, our core of players that we had, Martin Suji, Maurice Odunde, Peter Mondo, all those guys, Hitesh Modi, Ravindusha, Asif Karim, you call all those are legends that every time they come and just tapping your shoulder, telling you, carry on, move on, don't worry. Everybody, we were lifting each other, every one of us were lifting each other when someone is down.
He was an inspiration to many and needed to pass on his skills to others, so he came up with a developmental program that has nurtured many.
From a player, you finish, it motivates you, you ask yourself after your career, what can you do? And I thought Sandeep Patel and Balvinder Sandhu Singh really motivated me to be a coach. Every time they come in and say, Angara, do the warm-up, Angara, do this. So, I took it up and said, okay, I can. When I finished, I thought it was nice to just do the coaching. And also I started developing a program for NPCA early enough when I was still a player.
And that's how the Kenya cricketer transited to coaching, but not before he joined a Plascom Cricket Academy in South Africa.
This game you can't play forever. Age catches up, new players come in, so we got to let them come in. And then now, after that, I went to play club cricket in South Africa, in Cape Town, for a suburb called Guguletu. I came back and I got the coaching role started with under 17, under 19. So actually when I left to Botswana, I was the coach for under 19.
In 2015, Angara left for Botswana, having laid a foundation for the under 17s and under 19s, which has bore fruit up to date.
We always look for something new. We always look for something to challenge you. Yeah, we needed the challenge, like, okay, why can't I try go there? Also, that professional out of your comfort zone.
He has some memorable moments as the coach of the Botswana cricket team, which included a win over his former side.
It's been okay, 8 years working with us. It's actually a developing cricketing nation. So I went there and, 2015, July. So I'm back, and what I've done, I've decided I left the structures running there, and I hope Botswana will one day wake up and they've started competing. I'm sure you saw we came here a month ago and you saw the performance.
Joseph Angara could not have done it all without his family's support, led by his beloved wife.
Definitely, my daughters are here. My wife is also working, really supported me throughout my 8 years in Botswana. Yes, they come visit on and off, but then it was not easy when you're staying away from your family, but sometimes you don't have a choice. You're a man, you have to go and fend out for bread.
He, however, decided home is best in 2023, where he looks forward to carry on with developing the game of cricket.
I'm looking for an opportunity that comes my way. I'm happy to work here for the Cricket Kenya when opportunity arises. I'm from national coach from Botswana. I'm working with the under 19s here, so you don't choose where to. When the opportunity comes, you still do what you need to do.
And the Kenya cricket fraternity was happy to see him back, giving him an opportunity to mentor the young ones, as we found him doing at the KBC Cricket Academy holiday camp.
This is the game that has brought me up. This is the game that I love. And I also want to thank KBC Sports Club for inviting me for this kind of session. I want to thank KBC Sports Club for such an initiative to bring these kids here, to help them play the game. It's not only good for KBC, but also good for this country.
And he does it all for the love of the sport of his choice.
I love this game, and I can't sit at home and there's a cricket going on somewhere. And like I said, I thank KBC for calling me this opportunity. This is what we need to do in this country, to see kids playing like they're on holiday now. Keep them busy, getting out from their phones, getting out from their TV, getting out from their also relaxing. Too much work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So this is part of it. I saw one of the boys here bowling called Fortune, and I say, wow, this is talent.
And know what? He did play a different ball game, football, and could have been a legend of the game too if he had pursued it.
You remember Paul Oduo Cobra? I was nicknamed Oduo Cobra because of Joseph Oduo Langara.
So what is his favorite club of football speaking?
I finished playing cricket, started coaching cricket, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm an Arsenal fan. Now the English Premier League has started. I'm a big Arsenal fan.
Well, you heard it from Joseph Angara, a former Kenya international cricket player come coach who chose to bowl rather than kick the ball and was great at it.
I used to be called Kapil Dev. Kapil was a legend, a captain for India. Yeah, they call me Josie, they call me Kapashak, they call me Suka. You know, so whichever name suits you. But you know, there's some people call with an old name, then realize, hey, this guy, amekula chumvi kama mimi.
That's the story of Joseph Angara. Yes, a cricketer, played in 2 World Cups, 99 and 2003. For Kenya, coached in Botswana, is now back in the country. Well, time to get into our third conversation, and we're going to be talking about a sport. When people see it being played, they just ask, what type of volleyball is this? It's known as fistball, and we've got the president of the Fistball Federation in Kenya. He's on my extreme left, Morgan Kiremi. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we've got the treasurer of Fistball Kenya, Prince Castor Munya. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
All right. Morgan, let me just start with this. First of all, this game where it looks like tennis, it looks like volleyball, but the ball can bounce and you're playing with only one hand. Just give us a full description of this.
Thank you very much. Yeah, fistball is a team sport that is played between 2 teams, opposite side, 5 players on each side. And it has some similarities with volleyball, but there are important differences. Instead of using the hands to volley the ball, like in volleyball, players use the closed fist, like that. Yes, so, or the forearm to hit the ball, and the ball is allowed to bounce.
This way?
No, the fist has to be clenched. Yes, closed fist, yes.
So it's either this way?
No, just like volleyball, so you can have a good control. This part of your hand controls the ball very well, so you use this part of your arm. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You can.
Yeah. And of course, it is a very exciting sport because it requires speed, coordination, agility, concentration, teamwork, tactical thinking, which is very important. It is played internationally and world championships organized under the International Fistball Association. Yes.
Well, let's talk about the field of play here, and the equipment used, posts and nets. That.
Yeah, we have a field which is 50 by 20 meters wide, and it has a kind of a rope or a net that divides the court into 2 halves. That's 25-25, right? So, yeah, so players are...
I'm trying to think of 50 meters.
Yeah,
that is about the half a length of a football field.
Yes.
That's huge.
Quite huge, yes, for 5 players. So that's why you need to be very fast, you need speed, proper agility, very nice fitness, and that is, those are the basics that we start with when you're recruiting the new players. Yeah.
So that makes the net, the post, just describe those now.
A net, actually, it's not a net, but just a rope that divides the court into 2 parts. Yeah, just a rope like locally we improvise those ropes, and we are hoping maybe if people that are doing that weaving and stuff, they can come up with such items so that we can start to get them from them or buy from them. Yeah. So it's just a rope, not a net. Yeah.
Well, quite an interesting one. And Prince Castle, let's talk scoring this in this game. Just take us through that.
Just as the chair said, with that net, I think he forgot to mention, it has a height of 2 meters.
That is your ordinary door in your house?
Yes.
That is how high it is?
Yeah, that is the height. Anyone can score. So for you to score, there is one who will serve. And before you score, the ball, as he has said, it has to bounce on the opponent's side before they can return it to you. Should they not return, or should they return before it is bouncing, then you have won on your side.
So the first thing they've got to do is, once it lands...
You wait for the ball to bounce before you return it.
So that's more like tennis?
Yeah. It has the features of volleyball as well as that table tennis.
All right.
With a slight differences, very minimal.
So, taking a set, who takes the first? If I'm going to take a set, I mean,
now, for these 5 players, they defined 2 and 3. So out of the 2, 1 will serve to the other side. Yes.
Okay. The scoring to win a set, points is in Africa ngapi?
There's no maximum.
Yeah, so it's a sport that can be played in 2 formats. One, you can use the scoring system, or you can use the time system. Maybe you can set the match is going to last for like 90 minutes. So we have 45, or maybe depending on the time. Yeah, or maybe even 30 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on the time. Or you can play the international way, which is 11.5 sets. Yeah.
So which means 11
points.
11 has a difference of, I mean, volleyball uses a difference of 2. Or,
yeah, we also have the same.
Or where if you are tied, say at 10-10, then...
Yeah, we also have the same. Yeah, when there's a tie, we have the difference of 2 points, just like volleyball, badminton. Yeah, deuce. Yeah, until the winning team scores the last point.
So, and the one that is timed, you have to say, become a football too.
Yeah, become a football too. So like when we have a school event where we have so many participants and we want to finish the event maybe in 2 days, so we can choose to play the preliminaries using the time format. Then from semi-finals and finals, we go with the match system.
All right.
Yeah.
When this sport came to Kenya, Prince Castor, how were you working to make sure that you get #1 venues? Because getting 2 courts of 50 by 20, that is the equivalent of an entire football field. So how are you working to make sure that there's a place where people can play and the game grows?
We just did our survey, and we got some of the fields within Nairobi, that is the locality that we are using, and we identified a few schools which has the grounds of the same size. So we had to hire them out, get our teams to play from those areas, the fields, yeah.
Schools which have come in and been part of your story?
Yeah, we have some schools that are doing the festival very well. Yeah, like Kwanzanze, for instance, which is at Machakos County. We have Ridhimitu. That one is along Dagoretti. We have another one at Kajiado, as well as Mombasa. And also Nairobi. Yeah.
Oh, very, very well. It's good to see, when the sport goes out there. Yeah. The reception to it, I'm sure, because people thought, what is this? People, mnapiga mpira ngumi ya nini?
True, it's very shocking, but once you get to know it, it's very interesting. I wish they had over 40s, because that's where I lie. I could have played with them.
There's a whole group of people who are going to do that.
Correct.
Now, making it competitive outside, let's start with the schools where you are. How competitive has it become? How is it being accepted by the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association?
So that is a very good question. And since when we got the registration, we were hoping to partner with them as our first partners, because through schools, the sport can grow and develop very fast and very quickly. Yeah, so, and it's also another way of giving the young ones an opportunity to experience a new sport that maybe some of them can't fit in the other games. And so it's a good opportunity for the young children to grow with it from the grassroots. Yes.
And by the way, when you go to Rotemito or you go to Kwantanze, you go to Mombasa, and you see the students who are in those schools, the ones who gave you the grounds, just tell us, how have you seen the quality of the sport improving?
It's really improving with a very high speed, just to mention. And the reason as to why we went to those schools is because they are doing very well in volleyball, and they do kind of remarry. That's why. And getting a field was not an issue. Getting players still was not an issue. So we had some that are doing...
I can imagine Kwantanze. If you don't make it to this team, you have another one here.
Correct. That's why we had to think outside the box.
Very well, and now when for you, I mean, when this, and for the sport to continue growing, and you have to be active, I mean, outside of the schools.
Correct.
Just tell us about how the local scene is. For those wale wanatoka shule, they've got, somehow you tend to continue that sport.
Being a new sport in our country, that's why we chose to start with the young ones, and you can only find them in school. And we tend to continue the sport even after they leave the schools in the future, that is. The only thing that we need is maybe the support from our government, because currently, just to be open, we are supporting from our pockets. If we can get good wishes, well and good, the sport will just grow as fast as any other sport in the country. Correct.
Making sure that there is, how are you working on this continuity that you've got here, Morgan?
So as my colleague has said, we are working hard to develop the sport at the grassroots level, and that is basically in the schools, right? So we are hoping and requesting, we're going to partner with them, maybe the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association, so that it can be included in the calendar, or the other one for the Kenya Primary Schools Association. Yeah, so that once we have the players from the grassroots, they translate from this level to this level to this level. So that's how we want to start it. Yeah, so that even if it's our national team, yeah, the young players that are upcoming, we would like to mentor them or maybe develop them for our future international competitions. Yeah.
Now, as you're developing them, which other African nations have picked up this sport?
Okay.
Namibia. They're doing well in it. Yes.
That's the biggest fistball nation at the moment.
Yeah, within the Africa. It's only Kenya and Namibia who are doing it currently.
So two nations.
We also have South Africa, which is playing, but they didn't participate in this under-18 World Championship. I don't know, but they have a team also, the South Africans. Yeah. So there are 3 countries which are actively playing fistball in Africa. Yeah, Namibia, Kenya, and South Africa. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, so let's talk about the under-18 championships. This is Switzerland, right?
Yeah.
I know it was always a big challenge, but you don't lose it. Just expect, what was, for example, once you are selecting the team, just take us through that process, selecting the team and, just trying to make sure that they travel to Switzerland. How did you do that? I'll start with you, Prince Cass.
When it comes to selection, as I've told you, first we went to the schools that are really doing well in volleyball as well as table tennis, because at least giving the idea to the key students or the pupils was not a big issue on our side. It is something which was very easy for them to pick up. Then from there we did some trials just to have a good selection of the team for both boys and girls who are under 18. Yes, please.
The joy and seeing how that now you know, they missed Switzerland, but for the under 18 championships, what was the biggest impediment, Morgan?
Well, yeah, we had worked very hard towards participating in the under 18 World Championship in Leiden, Switzerland. But unfortunately, we were unable to make the trip. Yeah, it was very disappointing, especially to our young players who had trained and hoped to represent our country in international competition. But however, we chose not to look at it simply as a failure. We have taken important lessons from the experience, particularly around preparations, fundings, logistics, and building stronger structures. Yeah.
All right. Going out to, for example, the schools to offer support, just tell us about how the kind of support that they give to you, because once you focus on schools, there is as I said, it's probably only the match officials that you may have to pay, but a lot is taken care of.
Going to schools, the first thing we did, we approached the principals because they are the custodians of those kids at that very moment, and they really received us in a very positive way. No school that we went and they said no to us. It's only one parent who refused to release the child, but the school was willing to help us. It is from there they gave us their sports teachers who could take us through the team. Our chairman here, Mr. Morgan, was also there to help them understand, learn how the sport is being played. Yeah, and within a month, not even a month, within a week, it picked up so well. So he handed over now to the coaching staff and they took over.
Transferring the knowledge about the technical aspects of this game, how are you working? With the seeing that most of the coaches now are the teaching staff, and they also know what's going on in the world, because I still remember some time back a new sport was introduced to the high school I was in, and when people played the first game, they were in total shock because they really could not. Yes, it was total shock because they really could not understand all the rules, so they had to be updated continuously. Morgan.
So what is your question?
The question, transferring the technical skills and the knowledge, officiating thing, and how officiating works.
Yeah, for that one, of course, without the technical officials, any new sport will not grow far. So we need a serious technical team, especially the coaches and the officials, the umpires and the referees. So we are planning to have a serious certification training done or conducted by an international experienced coach to our local coaches here in schools, especially the teachers in schools, and then the coaches as well, so that the game can grow with the expertise.
What's the capacity that you have right now? You're the one who picked up the sport somewhere, and so now you're the one who's been transferring the knowledge to the young people.
Yeah, for the past years, because we've never had an international official coming in to conduct such trainings. So I am the one who has been using the little knowledge I have, sharing it with the teachers, and and then we try to apply it practically. Yes.
Just out of curiosity, where did you pick this game up?
Yeah, it's a good question because first of all, it's a very interesting and it's a bowling sport and very interesting. So what happened is that we saw it's a team that it's a sport that is going to require a team, not individual. You know, like many players can use one ball to play the sport. And again, as you spoke about the field, it's not that challenging. Sometimes international rules allows you to make some amendment. You can make the field even a bit smaller, especially for the young ones.
Yes.
Yeah, so you are allowed to do some adjustment. Yeah.
Where did you pick the sport? That's the main thing.
So the sport is played in Europe. That's where it started. And in Europe, it's a very popular sport. Yeah, and they like playing it so much. So I thought, yeah, when I saw it, I thought it's a good opportunity for our young players in Kenya. Yeah, yeah.
And for you, Prince Castor, how did the bug catch you? Because once I know about, if you get the bug of a sport, ikikushika imekushika.
Okay, just to mention, it was first introduced to me by Mr. Morgan. Back in high school, I was playing table tennis. So when I saw the rules, the kind of game, how it is being played, because I used to play table tennis as well as the netball, it wasn't very hard for me to understand it. Then I told him, it's okay, we can push this one in our country, see if it works. And we are so positive about it. Yes.
All right. Well, the one thing I've said, I mean, yeah, planning the Switzerland under-18 event is one that they missed, but they've said they are not giving up. So your next target is the Men's World Championship in Brazil.
Which will be in October next year.
In October next year. Well,
Correct.
quite a number of events that we're seeing for next year. Let's now see how you want to get this men ready. Which schools would you be looking at? Those I know we are looking at towards the last date for class or so, and which are the target schools? Because you've got 1 year to we probably send the youngest team to the World Cup.
We might use the same schools that we were planning to use at the Switzerland, since they did not manage to go there. But should we think outside the box still, we can have new schools and do a proper trials, because I think winning is our only option that we have. Yes. And we want to take a team that will win.
So, look, Morgan, let's look at this deeply, because you've got, it's 1 year to go. How often, for example, would you give your time to go, say, to Rodimitu and make sure that these boys, number one, they are very fit, they've got the correct skills and the intelligence required to move around the court?
A very good question. So our first priority right now is to develop the sport in schools. Yeah, so we want to work with both primary schools and the junior secondary schools, as well as high schools. Yeah, so there we can be sure we have some young players who can be prepared for international matches. So we are planning to work with few counties to start with, maybe 12 counties, yeah, to start with. So we can have schools from the 12 counties playing, so we can have like a league or a national championship that we can be able to select the best players that we can continue to groom, yeah, to prepare for the championship.
Well, actually, yes. counties you're looking at preferably, because already I would know Machakos would be one, Nairobi would be one,
Yes.
Mombasa would be one.
Yes.
You've mentioned there's also and
Kajiado.
Kajiado.
Yes.
Yes.
Which are the others that you'd be looking at for growth?
So actually, we wanted to work like region-wise. So we have like Nairobi region, we have the coast region, we have the eastern. So we want to get each region at least being represented. Yes. Then eventually, depending on the the size of the region, then we can, like we can get counties coming up or developing the sport depending on the number of counties in the region. Yeah. And so we have Nairobi, we have Coast, we have Kajiado, which is covered by some schools along Isinya. We have Machakos, that's representing Eastern Province. Yeah, Kajiado representing Rift Valley, like that. Yeah. And we are hoping to spread it further, especially the Rift Valley signs. We have so much potential on those signs as well. Yeah, so we want to get them involved, especially the schools, the primary schools, because Festival has a very strong curriculum for the whole sport, from the grassroots, how you train. It has a curriculum, which is one of the few sports which has that. Yeah, for the school to use. Yeah, a whole curriculum designed by the U.S. Festival Association. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that conversation that everyone's talking about, reaching out to, the primary schools and the junior schools, how's that progressing? Because I know for most of them, they really would want to do that around, at the start of every year, so that they can, because of the way the school games calendars work.
We are planning to work hand in hand with the Ministry of Education as well, to see if they can incorporate this into their calendar of events. Yeah. And having that, we are planning to have some tournaments just within those regions that the chairman has mentioned, just to make sure that it gets into the roots properly. Yeah.
And when you talk about this, a detailed curriculum, Chairman Morgan, how do you progress, say, from a 6-7-year-old through the under 10s, under 13s, under 16s, under 18s, in terms, because you earlier mentioned about the pitch size, so that they get the basics right, such that by the time you're going to play on the full pitch, you're now competing seriously?
Yeah, very good question. One, as I mentioned earlier, we need to come up with trained teachers and trained coaches, well-trained, not just coaches, but well-trained coaches that are able to give the right skills to the young players. Yeah. So we have that curriculum that suits all the ages. Yeah, because like in Festival, we have something that we call Wound Tour, which happens every year for young players who are under 12. So it's called a Wound Tour. You go to like different countries trying to gather points. Then at the end, towards the end of the year, you are able to get the top 8 countries, which goes to the finals. So we have a curriculum to develop such players, so they can be able to participate in such events, which is also a good opportunity, because that is a club event. It's not a national team. Yeah, it's a club. So different clubs can register to participate, even from different counties or from different regions, as long as they are established clubs.
Okay. Namibia, you've mentioned. As one of the 3 nations in Africa that are involved with these sports, any visit or tour expected?
Very soon we are planning to host some tournaments, either within our country or we request Namibia if we can have it at their side. Yes.
Namibia?
Yeah, so we are preparing for an international exposure for our players because as you heard, we have the Men World Championship. So we want them to play against players that have experience in playing it, like in competitions, so that we can be able to check where we are. Yes. So we are proposing a match versus Namibia, which is just in Africa. Then from there, maybe as time allows us, we can see how we can go for more international exposures before the Men World Championship.
All right.
Yeah.
You're the one who carries out the checkbook, so you really need support for that.
We really need support for that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Prince Cast Munyawa. She is the treasurer of the Fistball Kenya Federation. And Morgan Kiremi, Fistball. Well, I'm sure we'll be getting you videos so that you can see how fistball is played. Think of playing volleyball with a fist, no net, it's a rope, send it over, but at the same time, this way or that way is how you play that game. Something that we definitely would like to see. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. Well, it is now time for me to sign out. Coming up next, Kurunzi Mashinani and Tamrini. My name is Daniel Wahome.
They sing about the truth and nothing but the truth, that God's timing is the best. And indeed it is for Purity Kandie, who has proved that she's capable of becoming a distinguished member of the society despite her intellectual disability. Kandie was born with Down syndrome, and a family led by her father Julius Kosgei and mother Ann embraced her condition and raised her as any other normal child despite facing challenges along the way.
Purity Kandie was born mentally challenged, and we really passed so many difficulties in raising her. And also, you see, most of the people were actually wondering what happened to this child. And anyway, we took care of our child. When she was young, we loved her. In fact, we showed her love more than even the other children. And she grew when she felt that she's being loved by the family.
And that is why she's been able to help out in household chores without any hitches, help in the gardening and farming at home.
She could not feel that she's a mentally challenged person, no. She took herself to be a normal child. That's why she could do all other things. And let me tell you, this daughter of mine, she does a lot of things in the family. From house paralysis, washing house, dishes, feeding even animals, feeding chickens. She does a lot of things. And
They eventually found a school which was willing to accept her, and there was no looking back, as it has nurtured her talent to the highest level. And with the help of Special Olympics Kenya, she's been able to represent the country in 2 Special Olympic Games in Abu Dhabi and Berlin, where she boasts of 2 gold medals and a silver in the 50 meters dash and a standing jump, including a first-class model in dancing. Oh, how she loves to dance.
We had a challenge when we went to school. Most of the school could not accept her because of the mentally challenge. I think, if I can remember, we took almost 3 to 4 schools. It's only one school that accepted her, that's the Kitale school. And let me tell you, what God has planned for this child, nobody can know. Because even the schools that refused to accept her, they have now come to realize that this child has some talent. She's a national figure.
She even features for the AIC Nuru Gospel Choir. She is among the winners of the prestigious Soya Awards, and most of all, she was conferred a head of state commendation by President William Ruto in the 2024 Jamhuri Day celebrations. Purity Kandie is indeed an inspiration for persons with intellectual disabilities, for proving that if we choose to include, we will be changing the perceptions of many so that they are integrated into the society. And why is that? Because we are better together. We all belong to this world. We all need to feel appreciated and respected and loved, because everyone matters. So, choose to include.
People will not believe that Purity will go to that extent of even being an international person. So I want to take this opportunity to thank so much the Kitale School that it has made this child to be where it is. And also I take the opportunity to thank so much the Olympic team, because you are the people who have made this child to be where she is. She's very lovely.
The wait is over. KBC Iko Huduma Center. Starting with Nairobi, kupata huduma za KBC imekuwa rahisi. From digital guidance and signet services to booking of commercial adverts and documentaries. Visit our dedicated desks at Huduma Center GPO, Times Square, Makadara, Kibera, or Eastleigh. Tunakungoja hapo. Whether it's a casual announcement or a specialized media solution for your business, we are here to serve you. KBC at Huduma Centers, moving closer to you. Your station, your service.
Hebu fikiria environment kama hii hapa Western Kenya. eti mtu atatoka hapa aende Nairobi kusoma university to conquer the world. Mimi Andrew nitahakikisha hiyo ndoto imezimwa. Tazama hayo yote kwa Gundu KBC Tuesday to Thursday 7:30 p.m. Leo sio kesho.
Wito wa ufadhili kutoka kwa serikali kuliwezesha shirika hilo kupiga jeki ukuaji wa makundi zaidi ya wanawake wanaohitaji usaidizi wa kifedha, wakiongozwa na afisa mkuu